Hey everyone, Gig Coach Jake back with more hot news in the gig economy, and this is huge. Now this is a Lyft and Uber driver strike and protest. Now I know you're all saying you've heard this before, right? It's going nowhere. This is different. This one is big, gaining a lot of momentum, and it is worldwide. So if you don't care, you can tune out. But for the rest of you, just hear me out on this. If you're in the following cities, if you're in LA, San Diego, San Francisco, Chicago, Boston, DC, Philadelphia, New York City, London, or Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, those are the participating cities. So this is May 8th, tomorrow, and it begins tonight at midnight and runs all the way through till 12 a.m. tomorrow. There's a lot of protests going on. So the biggest one is the LAX. So it begins at 5 a.m. tomorrow. There's going to be 3 shifts. They have a demonstration from 12 to 1 where it's a rally and a bunch of speeches. So if you're in any one of those cities, reach out. So it's Rideshare Drivers United in LA and also for San Diego. It's Gig Workers Rising for San Francisco. And in San Fran, they're going to be at the Uber HQ at noon. Hopefully a bunch of drivers will be out there. So they're basically just taking note from what New York City did and copying and really working on getting notice from not just the corporates, but legislation, the legislators, right? We want to get legislation. So, again, Chicago Rideshare Advocates, they will be at City Hall tomorrow. Boston Independent Guild, they're shutting off their apps for 24 hours. DC Drivers United, they're participating and shutting off their apps as well. New York City and London, they're 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Rideshare Drivers United in Atlanta, Georgia, they're going to the Lyft and Uber hubs, all the support hubs across the city to recruit. This is a big deal. This affects all gig workers. And you might be thinking, I'm not an Uber or Lyft driver. Why does it matter to me? This sets precedent for all of us. A lot of these companies are mimicking the things that Uber's been doing and Lyft to get away. Now, this is in front of that anticipated Uber IPO, right? This public announcement supposed to be Friday. So this is a big deal, right? Lyft and Uber are just racing to the bottom of the rates, right? They're trying to improve their investors and show that they can make some money back and pay them back. They've dropped the rates to 60 cents a mile in a lot of these markets, like LA. They were the first one in California. Think about it. Their cost of living is outrageous on top of gas prices and a gas tax. So drivers had to do something. Now, they did something in March. This has been going on for months and over a year where they've been organizing and really pushing for something big like this. Now, like I said, this is worldwide. It's gotten a lot of attention in news articles. There's going to be news agencies at a lot of these places tomorrow. If you're in any city, you're an Uber or Lyft driver in any type, shut off your app tomorrow. Now, of course, it's not going to affect their marketplace a big deal. At those airports and things like that, it's going to affect them some. What it is going to do is cause pressure, right? That solidarity, drivers, the strength in numbers. Look what happened in New York City, right? They have that minimum. Now they've stopped hiring drivers for Uber in New York City. So let's get into the things that they're looking for. Now, it's not just drivers crying and whining. There are specific things. Now, the Rideshare Drivers United, they've come up with a Driver's Bill of Rights. Let's take a look exactly what that says and what they're looking for. So their demand, like I said, fair pay is the first one. 10% commission cap for Uber and Lyft. So a cap to what they're taking, right? Now with they're taking away the surge multiplier, drivers cannot make much more than 60 cents a mile like they used to be able to. Lyft's doing the same thing. So putting a cap on that allows drivers to make the money they should be as independent contractors. Anyway, fair pay. Pay drivers per mile and per minute rate en route to the passenger and not just from the passenger to the drop-off. Set hourly minimum pay matching New York City's $27.86 per hour before expenses. Included gas price index, surcharge, and fare. And that's under the fair pay. So this is for LA specific. Now, a lot of these states, the ones I was talking about that I listed off, are working on legislation. So, If you have any part in politics and you could play a role in your market, in your city, and helping, please do. Reach out to any one of those that I listed. The next thing they're looking for is TNC transparency. Transparent, speedy, independent deactivation appeals process. Right? There's no due process if you get deactivated now. It's terrible. With all discipline held to just cause standard. Show drivers the estimated fare payment and the trip destination before accepting the trip. We're independent contractors. We should be able to see the contract we're agreeing to, right? There's been a lot of problems and issues with safety. There are some areas we don't want to end up, especially really late at night. There's a big potential and risk, right? Show complete fare breakdown with Uber or Lyft's take on passenger receipt. The next thing, the third thing on that bill writes, a voice on the job. Uber and Lyft recognition of our independent, driver-led organization to negotiate on behalf of drivers. So, as independent contractors, we're not allowed to organize as a union, right? We can't unionize. So, this is one other thing we want, so we can go to bat and petition for what we should have, right? So, the right to organize without retaliation. And selected an elected driver representative appointed to Uber and Lyft's board of directors. Now, the fourth thing, community standards. Rideshare vehicle cap to eliminate unnecessary traffic and carbon emissions. We don't need to saturate the market with drivers. There should be a cap, right? Look what happened in New York City. They had to pay a certain amount. They're going to cap, right? Good things. Emission standards for all new vehicles added to the platforms. Uber and Lyft must share all vehicle data with local authorities for traffic management. Not too much to ask for, right? Some people, I know you're saying this is just a part-time gig. That's what it's meant for. That's how it started off to be. Gig economy work has blown up and become a full-time source of income for a lot of people. A great example, look what happened when the government shutdown happened. Where did a lot of those people flood to for temporary work? Yes, part-time, but if there's no regulation, these companies can keep driving down rates, keep screwing drivers. 60 cents a mile? IRS deductions 58 cents a mile for this year. Think about that. 2-cent difference. Anyhow, so pretty fair. The gig economy, they're estimated that 40% and above of the workforce will be part of gig work by 2020. That's very soon, right? So we need to have some type of regulations now. These companies are making millions, billions of dollars off the drivers. Look what happened with the Lyft IPO, right? They cashed in and banked, and then that stock tanked. Same thing's going to happen with Uber. So we have to set some type of regulations and standards and fight for it. Now, those of you that are thinking, I've already heard it. I'm a food delivery driver, Amazon. Oh, sweet. The rates are going to be super high. I'm going to go drive tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. You're feeding into the problem. Guess what? If you drive for DoorDash or Grubhub or any one of them, look at Grubhub, right? Grubhub's reduced the rates. They're starting to decrease and less transparency. I can go on and on with examples. So, no matter what form of gig work that you're in, tomorrow, shut off your Uber and Lyft apps. May 8th, 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. all day. And if you're any one of those cities that I listed, definitely reach out and go participate if you can. Like I said, it's a strike/protest. They'll be demonstrating in different parts, so I list those off early in the video. This is huge. It's a big deal along with some of the other legislation and things that are going on. I won't talk much more. Let's work smarter and together. Solidarity, people.